Again, in terms of the value that Supermassive Blaze are finding on these kind of just flexing back and forth, the gambles on either side really paid off for them. But looks like actually Blaze are going to try and start off very quickly here in the pistol round. Lots of presence shown towards mid. Initially, Chronicle will be noted on the back of that boom bot, but no progress just yet. Blaze are going to have to wait out this Toxin so they can push through.
Yeah, Chronicle being kind of pressured from afar, kept very much to attention on this. And we do get to see Gambit playing on the defensive side at least. They get to kind of try and maybe state their value on this half, but SMB on the attack. They still strike fear into my heart, let alone the opponents. Defo was joining him towards vents there, but they're both going to peel away from this. It looks like Defo's going the long way around, maybe feeling this will end up being that piece towards B, but Shados has it in hand for now. Izzy's gone down, and now Nat's next line of defense going to fall back a little bit there, play a little bit safer. Maybe feeling that pressure starting to mount, as he is going to be a little isolated, but he does have the support through CT.
I was going to say, Shados actually got to be careful, because Aura coming through will find two. The B site wide open now, other than Defo, who will find Turco. And Spike noted, but a 3v3 nonetheless here. Defo got to be careful not to
look
fall.
At the other two. Yeah, they've got to be so cautious about this. Bear in mind, the other two were a little bit further away now. Luckily, Chronicle has joined towards CT, but a quick play back in here. Defo wants in, and he gets in. Pora's going to be removed, but there's still two players back of sight, time in their favor. And a wandering Defo gets his head taken off. And adjust as well. That's going to relook. Brave needs that. It wasn't clean. Tries to fall away in the frenzy with the punish. And Redgar. A lovely round and a needed one for Gambit to just maybe find some reassurance here.
Oh, that's the first tick in the box. Gambit get on the board, and again, a different talking point traditionally, I guess, is them starting on the defense here, hoping they can at least claw back some confidence, right? This is where we see them really, really in their comfort zone. But again, thinking back to previous series, we look at the win conditions really versus previous teams, actually, where they lost out versus Liquid. I mean, a key component of that was how clutch Nats was, right? How many rounds that he actually saved for them. And the way that we're expecting Supermassive Blaze to play this, they're going to be stacked up. They're not really going to be able to isolate, you know, these 1v1s the same way here, at least. But round two, get off to a quick start. FO actually going to swing and miss there with the Marshal, and Supermassive Blaze once again stacked as 4 Pora elsewhere.
Yeah, pretty even buy as well.
Oh,
They're
my
super
God.
close to this. SMB going to take the first as well. There's a follow. Look how absolutely ferocious they are on the aggress, but it's going to be Shados to control and at least quell Izzy's attempt at getting control towards Heaven. But Nats is now on the case, going to fill that void. And there's still a couple of players lingering around. Bit of info found off the back, but then look towards Ram. Turco, good work on the trade. They're still finding value to keep a 2v2. Now, Spike is with Turco, so got to be a little cautious, but they know where Redgar is. It's that final player, Shados. He was last noted towards Heaven, but not going to be an easy find here. Gambit going to make them work for this.
Actually, Shados backing all the way up, I guess, in anticipation of Pora being unnoted thus far, but
no charges left.
Turco able to buy enough time to get that heal back online, get himself back up to a little more comfortable HP at least. Shados looks as if he's got a good read here.
30 seconds left.
With 30 seconds remaining.
Oh, two flashes too.
This could be... Can't go down on B. Actually, it's going to be noted there. Redgar should be coming through on the rotate. Might just wait for the confirmation, but Shados got to stay alive here. He's actually going to find a third. 50 HP. Turco now faced with a 1v2 scenario.
Not going to be a comfy one. Still one flash on Shados too. Shados could use it just to simply clear. Checks for that close corner. No one's there, so now kind of clearing by process of elimination. As Turco tries to find one on the play back in. Going to look for Shados first. Gets him. Heal comes in. He's got himself a little bit better situated. Oh, Turco somehow slicing them into just manageable pieces. And they've turned it. That's going to be the round back in favor to SMB. They've broken the back of Gambit so early.
And
now.
this is the concern really on the defense here for Gambit is stylistically. Again, we talk about, you know, being overwhelmed and how clutch Nats can be in certain scenarios. The spacing we saw there, and again, just the all-out, dare I say, arrogance, right, for Supermassive Blaze to force that hard into Heaven. Gambit have to respect that, and they're already playing very deep on a lot of these defensive setups. It's not as if they ever really flex out in the early rounds. They've got to keep that in mind here.
And now the impact of that previous round, you can see the money now depleted from Gambit, unable to get that build going. Nice peek there for Nats. Big information, but gonna lose his life for it, not able to fall away completely, still wanted to stick around, and the damage done just simply isn't enough to warrant this. Shados having to just respect that the site is now SMB's. You can't take these fights, and we're left down to odds and ends. The back of the cupboard, the questionable tin of beans that you're not sure if it's beans, it's lost the label, Hypoc. No one knows what it is anymore.
There's something in there. That's for sure.
It could be pineapple chunks for all you know.
There's Chronicle now. Last man standing. Just a matter of time before SMB on the hunt. We'll find the first, actually, but is he stacked up for the trade? And with Massive Blaze, go one ahead. Obviously, Gambit going to be able to purchase into this next round. Again, I think is it majority Spectre is going to be carried through? Again, we'll have to see what repurchase comes from SMB.
But imagine a bonus round if this gets converted. How nasty is this bonus now for SMB? It almost delays it, right? They're just going to be ripping away the money straight away.
I mean, if it flips the timeline completely here, and Defo's actually throwing the operator in the mix. So you're right, this could be a full reset and an opportunity again to convert with lesser weapons. Defo, he was looking at the minimap there or what, but not even reacting to the first player crossing. And again, Supermassive Blaze. Gonna try and pressure the way onto B. Defo!
He's not loving this so far, and Izzy's going to take that opportunity to move up. He's even seen the barrel towards heaven as well. Just on those rafters, it was Shados, but still controls towards Pora. That's good work. Now, there has been damage chipped away at, but it's not enough to write home about yet. Seekers go in. This is going to confirm that everyone is here, but that wall's going to keep them somewhat safe. Flash to follow, and now maybe the play back through. Nats can at least catch the cross here. The wall now gets eliminated. He's in a bit of trouble, but he's going to find the first trade for Russ. This is again a round that truly Gambit needs to be clean, and now this is where the problems start to show and the cracks begin to be seen. As Turco and Izzy just got Chronicle to find. This is a disaster in the making, Hypoc.
Absolutely clinical from Supermassive Blaze on that round. Again, the ability to just sit and freeze for 10 seconds to completely negate 90% of Gambit's utility was absolutely fantastic. And again, Defo, I gotta say, in a couple of positions there to do damage. The first pick slips through his fingers. He backs up towards spawn again, waits for that kind of lull, waits for the rotation to come through, then dips back outside the smoke and absolutely punished for it. This is when you start to worry already. The Supermassive Blaze now, look at the purchase. Again, they essentially have a double bonus round here, Lauren.
You could not ask for a better way for the economy to trickle for SMB. They are going to be so pleased with this. Quick flash though, Izzy has to respect that, but this Brave is going to get played in off the back. He's got support from Turco, who's got the back lines, and look at this denial. You could see the intention from Gambit trying to get that pinch of pressure down middle, but Pora's found the final. As Gambit just don't seem to have the fire burning underneath them right now. SMB are greeting them every single step of the way. And once again, the money continues to swell. 3 alive, rifles maintained, Gambit's money, I don't know where they're going to be. They can get a purchase, sure, but they are just living in just paycheck to paycheck right now.
I'm very concerned as to what Gambit really can do here on the defense, because this pace is something they're not used to really dealing with. And again, Supermassive Blaze willing to go a little deeper than maybe traditional teams. We'll see a little bit of an adjustment here. It's Chronicle to pick up the slack towards B here, so a different setup altogether. Seekers popped from Blaze. Actually, is he going to pop through with the showstopper here? Gets very deep. Redguard will shut him down and no follow-up.
4 players from Gambit are on this site. Every other piece of utility is just dedicated towards A to try and help out the one player on his own, which will be Nats, but they're going to try and maybe dismantle the stack by moving away from that B piece, which they've been able to do so. They could technically re-aggress towards B at one point if they fancy it, but for now it looks like mid is that next kind of piece of attention. Even the way will be Pora looking to maybe crack in towards heaven, but Defo, he's had a bit of a shaky one so far after that hit towards B, but that's going to make up for it. Good catch towards Pora, now reads the play, goes back in, gets the tag, not the frag, and has to fall off from this one, but he does get his ult coming around, so still got a chance for this, but you can see SMB just testing every potential pain point that could be shown on Gambit.
What's the utility invested here? And again, Nats has got his setup, but it's going to be
30 seconds left.
Pretty much avoided here by Supermassive Blaze because they're all stacked up in heaven, and Shados actually strung through the smoke and punished for that. The wall goes up, Defo sealed out.
Yeah, but time, 15 seconds. There could still be a problem here with Redguard finding Russ, and Nat's still alive at the back of the site. This isn't going to be an easy round. And there's the catch on the cross. Turco gets caught in the end. And finally, Gambit stops the rot. It was a long time for them to get control of this, but maybe just the stack in the right place for the right time. They were finally reading the intention very well from SMB, but that still felt on a knife's edge.
It indeed, and again, it's so difficult. Again, you know, actually on the other side of the coin from what we've talked about, Nat's being able to stay on site for this long. It's so difficult to dig him out of that spot. Again, there's so many other layers to the Gambit defense where essentially he always has the last say. But again, just an opportunity here, really. SMB to reset their economy. Defo actually this time will open things up. Shados walking mid as well. Looks like Gambit actually want to have a say in these early rounds now. It's the first time we've really seen them be decisive, Lauren.
And it's exactly what the doctor ordered. They need something to, I guess, stem the bleed. And if that's the answer, so be it. I'm more than happy to see an answer come through for them. Maybe a closer game could be had, but a lean towards A brings the likes of Nats into question. Sitting in hell, watching towards the push through from heaven. Pora gets seen. And the utility follow-up as Redguard wants to close the gap. And he does so. That's a good bit of work coming in. That's a rifle now removed. Nats finds an isolated push out from Brave, leaving Turco and Russ really not finding much ground here on this approach towards A.
Redguard caught going for the upgrade there, and Russ the last man standing. You can do any more damage, really, because I mean, here you're looking for Gambit.
30 seconds
Show
left.
diligence, not give away too much here, because their economy a lot more fragile. Right now, you see, yeah, Gambit happy to sit back. 16 seconds left now. Not giving anything away to Russ. Other than that, just a little check, just to see if he's still there, still present. Actually, I mean, looking back, was it 2 rounds ago? Everything in terms of the ultimates was available for Supermassive Blaze, and they've churned through everything. I think they still have a comfortable purchase in hand here with the buffer they had built up. Gambit bring it within 1 round. They're just about reaching, I guess, their full ultimate cycle now. But how repeatable is that? The early round there, Defo getting the pick, which is something, again, we talk about. He's been in positions really to find value with the operator time and time again. And they've slipped through his fingers, Lauren. And really, if you're taking that much risk, on the other side of that, Supermassive Blaze have been so good at punishing it.
Trying to find out if you can still find this impact. And a quick mid show of presence coming out from SMB. Redguard this time to be playing towards vents. It is Izzy who's quite up close, and there's a couple more towards the bottom of mid, so that lean from Pora towards A, but it will be Defo to beat him if they do, so at this point, SMB, maybe an adjustment of pacing, it feels like, maybe trying to get the lay of the land. It's early intention, but no big push behind it yet.
Shot from Redguard to open things up, though, and no res available. And Supermassive Blaze will play this out as 4. Redguard again. This is it. Gambit looking to get a little aggy here in mid, at least to contest this presence early on. Nat's now on the ropes. Gonna shut Pora down. He'll slip out now with a 2-man advantage. See the adjustment here from Gambit. Happy to sit a little deeper, and this is on the back of really Viper's Pit giving them some comfort on B site. Redguard now on the back of the flash, gonna get the information, but very daring to go into astral form there. Shados luckily bails them out, and Redguard will close things out. All tied up, 4 apiece here, and I think the first time we're going to see Supermassive Blaze really have to consider their purchase here.
Yeah, the economy's going to be finally worked away at. Broken after that great run, but credit to Shados there for saving the life of Redguard in that. That was just fortuitous timing for him to come around and catch it just as they started to push. But let's look at how this is run now. 3 on the trot here. And I have been critical of Defo in the past, but it looks like he's found a little bit of footing here as well. He's been able to maintain and control a fair amount. I want to see if he can keep that up. This mid piece that SMB have been running has been countered, and it has been with a little bit of a dash of aggression here and there. They're actually taking those fights. And maybe a faster piece coming out, because it looks like Poor is going to lean forward early. But look at this purchase. It's not massive. It's got a little bit of punch behind it. It's not completely weak, but Redgar is going to pick out Izzy, and it's going to be the follow-up probably. Oh, the adjustment. It's Chronicle from up top. Good shutdown so far for Gambit. And Turco tucked in the corner, and Defo's got him. Clean enough, Redgar. Yes, we'll lose life, but perfectly fine. No threats found yet. This is a good road to recovery for Gambit.
Thing is now is, do we see Gambit explore more of these possibilities? And you could argue it's a little uncharacteristic, but something like Defo is absolutely pivotal to achieving that. And if he can just kind of rotate, similar to what we saw on map 1, right, with Izzy, just keep Supermassive Blaze guessing. The problem being, Supermassive Blaze, they don't spread thin. It's only really Pora that's out on an island. It's rare you get the opportunity to isolate Pora in any scenario.
Yeah, he doesn't make it easy. But Shados has been finding a little bit of that form that scared people not too long ago. Flash goes in, and again we know that Gambit will take some fights on this. Chronicle and Nats. Yeah, double facing this time. Previously it was just Nats there after the fallback from 1, but this time they were both actively facing from vents. But you are going to see the now adjustment. Seekers go in. Confirmation found. Gambit. They're keeping track of everything that SMB are trying to do here.
Well, actually, neural theft going to be popped, but the information already gathered. Russ will deal with Redcar. Seekers in response here. Actually, Shado's got to be careful inside spawn. Spike will just now cross. Have ourselves a 4v4 here. Do Gambit. I'm ahead of the curve here, ahead of the spike plant, Lauren. It's a good flash.
And the flash, it looks like Nats wanted to, yeah, and it's worked well. Really good push off the back of that flash. Sets a lot of players into motion, just turning the eyes away as Shados. It's not a fun scenario to be in. Spike's now down. 1 to the left, 1 to the right, and 2 on the back lines. Turco with the find, and SMB hit the brakes for a second, but that just re-aggress, that re-push in, that re-kind of approach just works so well for them. They've done that a couple of times now, especially towards B, just kind of weathering the storm for a second, and they seem to come out on top. But 5-5, a much more competitive scoreline.
Indeed, and we're seeing Gambit really not even isolate 1v1s, it's kind of like baiting in, that double stacking. Rope cells on the back of Nats previously playing a similar position, right? It's almost daring Supermassive Blaze to continue peaking, continue being aggressive. Right there, I mean, they're able to recover perfectly. Again, this time actually nothing shown towards mid. See, actually on the back of this spy cam, there is a flash set up from Shados. So again, they're anticipating Massive Blaze coming in hot.
There's the flash, and you can probably see the setup here. Camera playing.
It's gonna give it away though. It will.
Yeah, there you go. Shados now forced to use a utility. Spots the players pushing through, so confirmation now granted. Nats, lovely information work here.
Just
the
ahead
flash,
of it.
Just caught it. That's a little unfortunate there. That could have worked really well as a combination, but not to be, and then there we go. So Dog to kind of re-give the angle over, but this is, if anything, just funneling SMB through towards A, but the rotation comes in. Shados in the right place, right time. Redgar still buying time. Flash comes out. Gets the confirmation again, but they're not finding ways in. Defo still controlling it. That could have been maybe the breaking point, but no. Defo catching out Pora makes this very difficult. Nats, he's in a corner. He's only going to get one. The res comes out, and now the Pora comes through towards B, but keep your eyes on where Chronicle is playing. A tricky angle to clear. Going to get one spot a second on the cross. Going to fall away and wait for support. The correct call, but Shados just gets Ferrari peaked by Turco. Centaurus peak, just honestly SMB peak. Look at what they're doing to them.
And all of the contingencies there were fantastic from Gambit as well, but it just comes down to headshots. Just literally getting slapped off every single corner. Turco currently 15-5 here. And I gotta say, it's single-handedly flipping that round on its head. That was absolutely insane, Lauren. We're coming into round 12 now. Defo will be able to get that operator online. Viper's Pit available. Red guy has his ultimate too. Other side, Izzy one away from the showstopper, so big tool available. Supermassive blaze here. Again, they're going to force their way into Mail. And it's much quicker this time, Lauren.
Substantially after maybe forcing Defo off that angle. Here comes a trade out. The doggos does get caught. Shados just wants to peek in on it. Don't blame you either. Flash! Oh, just about keeps his life. I thought he might have lost it there, but he will manage to maintain. Now, they have lost that player, but they've taken, I guess, mid-control. It's not the ideal exchange, but look how many players are leaning towards this B site. It is once again just Nats left to his own devices towards A. Has the support of utility, sure, but man, he's feeling a little on an island, but they are actually going to go towards the ultimate here.
Terrible here. Chronicle still has one snake bite. He's going to have lots to deal with here. He's going to spot the first, the second as well. The third for Chronicle. Just one man left. Russ here. And Chronicle's going to look to swing through. He's going to... They passed. They crossed each other. Oh my god. Oh. For a moment there, I didn't think Chronicle was going to check his back, but we'll close things out with a lovely piece inside the ultimate, but all tied up here, Lauren. That's as far away from map 1 as we could possibly be.
Now, that was Gambit starting on the defending side. They recovered after a big turn from SMB, but this is lovely from Chronicle. I could watch that all day long. Very well controlled, and that final one was quite the surprise. It did work forward, and then they just cross each other. How unique, to put it that way. At 6-6, though, we now get to see how things look on the other turn of things. Gambit's attacking side worried me last time, but I don't worry as much, at least on split, but we'll see if my worries are in the wrong place or not. But here we go, Gambit coming in on the attacking side now, SMB on the defensive side, tied up at 6-6, and mid-control seems to be the early consideration from Gambit.
You hear if they can really find any value on the way through. It's going to be the trap wire in ropes to give away any push coming through, and we'll deal with it. Sapora now on red alert. See, actually his spy cam set up over towards Mail, Lauren. Now that's interesting because it's spreading his utility across the map to be a factor on either site here. And actually Pora going to walk through. Defo still lingering inside ropes.
Turco's in danger. Hearing at least 2 cross. Tags on 1. Does take Shados with him, but the trade comes out, and that flash is excellent. Russ is just setting this in motion. Another spotted. Defo completely blind, but he fights out from it. Russ has gone down, and Chronicle's got his back. It's all on Brave's hands, and this is not looking likely, but maybe a quick kill could alleviate that stress. No, Defo's got him, and Gambit start as they mean to go on. First round in the second half.
Up there, I think Pora just slight misread there. He felt as if they'd obviously tried to bait out that rotation by dealing with the trap wire, and they were going to drift back into mid, but Defo ready and waiting. Here's, well, only a sheriff. I think actually only one thrown in here on the back of Russ. Going to ride this one out. See here at Gambit how to play this. Again, they're going to spread very, very wide on this default. Spike not committed at the minute, and Supermassive Blaze actually going to stack everybody towards A site. I think pretty quickly Gambit should be able to figure this out, and how cautious they are in approach. I think it's going to be Defo and Shados to really try and just dip their toes, see if anything responds in heaven this time around. But elsewhere, I mean, look at Chronicle. He's just been sat outside big man. He's not even gone towards the orb yet. Got that wall to kind of split off. And Nats will spot one player. The only damage done so far. The rest of the stack unnoted as of yet.
Yeah, slow and steady. Gambit being very cautious. That's going to be the one in middle to make sure those rotations are going to be a little trickier, so they have to go the long way around. Defo clearing sight, and I think at this point you're feeling, right, that was probably an A stack, boys. We should be good for the plant, but how close are they? There we go. Spike plant down. 5v5 post. We look to see what damage can be done. This is purely classics. This is as ecoed out as you're going to get. So again, for Gambit, you're looking, oh, I'd say 4 alive, if anything. Let's see what they can do with it. A late play coming in as well from Nats towards Heaven. He'll be able to kind of maybe pinch on the cross. They do go for a bit of a burst here. If not, they wait CT and accept fate.
Stacking up here to do a little bit of damage if possible, but it's going to be an absolute feeding frenzy here. Turco actually going to get stuck inside, but we'll fall to the spike anyway.
That's fine.
We'll write that one off altogether. Just looking to make a late hit there to do a little bit of damage for some reinvestment here, but it will be a flawless round victory for Gambit. An opportunity here, a very good opportunity actually, as a fully fledged bonus round. Again, talk about the round timeline. Not too dissimilar here, even if we get the response from Supermassive Blaze here. They've got to keep this up. Again, I don't expect Supermassive Blaze to be playing every round like that, particularly on the buy rounds. See here now, actually a much quicker piece from Gambit here towards A.
Russ has to have seen that. Just put the dog down. Finds Defo. He knows there's more as well. The quick flash in case anyone had made it closer, but no one's there. The wall's still towards Heaven as well. So Izzy knows there's someone close, but unfortunate. I didn't find. That could have really caught Nats in a bad spot, but Izzy's aim is still going to be true to him, finding 2. The third's going to evade. Redgar's got it. Now a bit of an extended bonus, but keep in mind, this is still a 2v3. It's not out of the realm of possibility. The Rifles seem also aware of where Chronicle and Redgar may be. Brave with a nasty position to clear if they kept going this way.
Yeah, again, the secondary objective really just to make this costly. And Redgar actually finding Brave will do just that. Russ there to clean things up, but 3 kills, so again, you got to give it to Gambit there, at least on that round. I don't think, actually considering the damage done, I know Turco and Russ both took damage, right? But Turco ended up healing Russ, so it's going to force the armor repurchase as well, which on a round like that does make things, it has a knock-on effect. Makes things very different. Even though they do come out with the win. Yeah, well, it's only 1 Spectre actually, so a couple of light armors dotted across utility-wise. Struggling though, actually. Looking at the important pieces, the wall online for Turco though. Oh, Defo.
Oh, Brave.
Actually,
yeah, look at that push-up. Defo just hounded him down. He was following off the back of the utility, invested towards that, and I love to see utility capitalized on. Great work from Defo there. Brave's gonna feel punished for that. And now they can hit the brakes for a second, reconsider their approach if they want to. That player advantage is massive at this point.
I think that wall went down a little late, so probably another 15 seconds or so on it. But you can see already Nats and Chronicle going to stack up behind it, and there's nobody else on A's site. Supermassive Blaze look to retake mid here, and Defo still ready and waiting. He's going to find another, actually. 3rd on the round for him, and 2 remain as the spike makes its way over towards A.
No one on site to take that, so let's see if they feel confident enough to work forward.
30 seconds left.
There we go. So Spike should be going down. Took their time to clear. Didn't want to get, ahead of themselves, get caught off by someone lingering around, but Turco and Russ are pretty far from this Hypoc.
Yeah, and I think the consideration here, hold on to these weapons. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to look after this, but and no strangers to piling in, being proactive on the defense, and again trying to find something on the back of these weapons. Izzy 1 away from the showstopper as well, so potentially going to see a play one of the orbs, at least to make that a factor in the next round. Again, effectively cancelling out the requirement for one of these purchases at least. And again, as I said in the previous round, still keeping full armor, and the light armor, at least on the side of Russ, kind of lessens the dent on that purchase in the next round. Gambit now, 2 ahead. Looking for, I gotta say it, looking a bit better in terms of the attack, right? And Defo is certainly a talking point in that regard as one to kind of lead the charge. But I mean, we've talked about this before in terms of Gambit's typical composition, right? And how there's not really any enablers other than, you know, the Sova that appears. But here with Shados on the sky, that's a very very different play style. And I think as well, Defo coming online is important for Gambit in a number of regards, right? Because they don't often stack up, right? So they're looking for these kind of 2 or 3 different points of contact, whether that be Nats or Chronicle on one side of the map, or Defo in mid. So
and this is the thing, and I'm with you, right? The difference when, as much as you can look at Defo and say, well, he's not getting entries, well, he's not got, you know, the sky working with him or something he can work off. It's very hard in that traditional composition, I'm sure. So already that difference in the previous round where you saw Redgar's utility, Shados' utility, both finding huge impact, kind of proves that, okay, well, Defo can easily work off the back of that given the opportunity. Actually, that's a really integral thing in this half. So this is a great look, actually, for Gambit. A good adjustment coming out here. This is interesting to see, and I want to see how SMB now maybe find some composure, because it feels like they haven't quite found that footing here. They haven't quite found that, I guess, groove to it yet. They have been dictated to by Gambit. So we go back in, 7-9, Gambit do lead, and SMB haven't been quite able to find their footing. And this round, probably not too much different. They do have the 2 leftover rifles. The rest, pistols galore.
Yeah, not making a play for the orb early on. Izzy's going to have to rely on getting a kill here, but again, a good reactionary ultimate here, especially playing inside ropes. But a little bit of an adjustment here. As I was talking about the 2 players on the extremities. Chronicle over towards A this time, and it's Redgar in B main. Defo will fall. Russ thread the needle on the first, and that weakens Gambit's approach towards mid in this round. Weapon unretrievable though.
Oh, this is getting tricky though, because Defo's been the one who's been finding these entry picks, Hypoc. I get a little nervous now, even though they're up against, I guess, the timing of that, bloody hell. Redgar's just like crept right, like, no, I'm having none of it. No, but again, bear in mind, they are outgunned here. They are, you know, for SMB, they have the numbers, but the weaponry is still not quite there. The Seekers still going to highlight this A piece is coming in.
30 seconds
Give
left.
a couple of sheriffs here, or one sheriff, one ghost.
Or Izzy could catch a spike here, Lauren.
They definitely could, but Nats has found Russ. Let's see if Pora can do this.
Here.
Has he hurt? Yeah, he's definitely heard something. Izzy just looked away. Redgar, he's got to find Pora. He gets Izzy, and now maybe the saving grace. 10 seconds to get towards site. Needs to just move in. The 2 rifles still remain, Brave and Turco, but man, that timing could have been different.
Yeah, so coming out Brave will actually deal with Chronicle here. 22 HP though, going to be difficult to get any closer. Turco does have that heal. If he can get a little closer in screens, at least a fighting chance.
There we go. Hill given across. Brave now getting boosted back up. First pick worked on there in the post bomb, but no, it's going to be Gambit. Really well controlled. I was worried after that pick on towards Defo, if I'm going to be honest. As soon as he fell, I was like, okay, this could be a problem. We've got the rifles in the right place. Maybe they'd isolated that player who's bringing in the spike. That could have been another potential pitfall, but it wasn't. So now double digits found for Gambit. This feels very grindy, though. It's not an easy game at all.
I think as well, with the spike hitting that rotation when it did, I don't want to say it's lucky, but it's unfortunate, I guess, for Supermassive Blaze not to find that kill onto Redgar, because again, that's spiked down and potentially changes the course of that round. Again, 3 players really committed towards mid to address Gambit's setup previously here, but they won't find anything on the back of the flash, and that will draw out the rotation, the wall going down in heaven as well, to give them a little breathing space for the time being. And now look at it though, they're trying to capitalize on the back of it, and Gambit actually might be walking straight into the stack.
Fast. Defo is so blind. He had absolutely no clue what was going on. Brave's still here, going to post himself up on the corner. See Turco trying to keep their attention drawn. There's so many players on this site, but now look at that lurk through towards heaven as well. There is going to be a player coming through slowly but surely, but Nats is denied right now. He can't make that presence noted, so a pause has to be made almost here. Gambit need to wait a second or two, live out some of this utility, try and just hit the brakes. but I don't think they can even disengage really away from this hit. They have to keep
the spike's
committing to
there.
this.
They dropped the spike.
There's the flash. There's Izzy gone, and there's Turco and Russ. Redgar and Shados are down, but there's still many players here. Pora's found Nats. That's the lurk through on Heaven gone, leaving just Chronicle alive, and the stack in the right place at the right time. And SMB reading it very well, controlling that lurk, and Izzy finds Chronicle in the end, and SMB are back into it now. They found another. They found a little bit. And maybe that opens up the chance for the rest of this half. But at this present, that's the first real stopper I feel we've had on Gambit.
Yeah, and the problem is, we talk about the previous map, it's the first real time we've seen Gambit, you know, step up and try to piece together, you know, a stacked execute. On the back of the Cosmic Divide going up, Defo going in with the spike, and I think a team flash actually coming from the back lines. Yes, it's a stack from Supermassive Blaze, but a couple of slip-ups from Gambit along the way. The spike carrier being the main one for me. How often do we see Gambit not commit the spike either way in rounds? So a little uncharacteristic.
Ooh, Shados. Big man fight towards middle, and the combination between him and Defo has been pretty deadly. Now this could be a no res actually. Turco not able to get that up yet. I thought he was there, but no, he's still one away. But
Got your trail.
Seeker's coming in, looking to see if the player peeks with it, but no flash to follow as well. And now there goes Defo, and now suddenly the res is there. Turco can get his buddy back up. That's Izzy, but Pora's lost his life. Now where is that spike though? A million miles away from being relevant, but a 4v3.
Shadow's got to be careful here. Russ actually responds.
Spike.
Yeah, I mean, there's none of this matters right now. Nats walks through just a really weird round. You look at that versus the previous round. Now, I ask the question once again: what the hell is Defo doing dashing in with a spike? These set pieces continue to concern me for Gambit. And it's so strange to see a team that fundamentally, in terms of the protocols they have in place, looks so weak in terms of these kind of choreographed sight hits, Lauren. It's very strange.
I've got your trail.
Yeah, at this point,
What is this?
watching how this round went down.
Is that Yampi?
Yeah, I'm not
Yampi
sure.
got onto Defo's account?
That was a straight up Yampy move. It's out of the Yampy playbook. I'm not sure if we love it, but it's there. Now, this has worked down the money, though. Now, luckily for them, Defo can sit on his ult, so that's still okay. Can at least even some things out. Clear of utility through towards Heaven, but no big information found. Oh, here we go. Tries to avoid paint shells, and you can see 60... A little bit of damage done, but he's right back up. He'll be fine.
I think he wanted to dash into Heaven there, but a little bit of a
I thought so for a second.
Misclick, miscalculation on the timing there, and doesn't even get through the choke. So Gambit now have to slowly approach this. They flash themselves into ropes here. Turco actually ready and waiting. Defo will find at least the first. There's still 3 players to deal with on a site here, Lauren.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're going to realise this, because the gap can be
That
filled
camera's
towards
dirty.
fence. So that's another player kind of filling the void, and here we go. It's going to be towards the site, but Defo's found Russ. That's pretty important. Pora's got the trade out, but Pora's still on the back lines.
Oh my
He is
God.
doing such good work for SMB. Defo's going to try and thread the needle. He's denied! Pora! Huge impact this round. As now Izzy up against Redgar, and Izzy's just going in. This is a BDP if I've ever seen it. Look at this guy. Izzy has crossed that gap, and I don't know if Redgar is going to be fully aware of how close Izzy could be. Still has the bot to hand. but the
Izzy!
Op is more than enough. Izzy is nuts at this game.
There was a second there where I think he was contemplating wallbanging, and his crosshair lined up perfectly.
It was on, dude.
Doesn't matter.
Oof.
Still closes things out, and I gotta say it. Much better approach there from Gambit. Again, seeing the spike not committed, Defo able to at least, you know, be able to spearhead that attack, but a little bit of a slip up there in terms of the ability usage slows things down. I think Gambit had a window of opportunity that closed very quickly, and when they have to slowly, you know, wait for that heal to come through, then re-explore ropes, then re-explore all of Heaven, it gives Supermassive Blaze so much time to just kind of sit there and go, okay, well, you know, you're burning up utility, we'll wait for the hit to come through.
I want to say as well, I'm used to CIS AWPers being pretty good, but man, Turkey has some very good offers as well. If you think CNED, Izzy, all this talent, pretty sick. This point Defo though, speaking of CIS AWPers, going to be on the rifle this time around, and it looks like Redcar's getting a lot of room to work out here. There's still the player waiting patiently on the other side, that being Pora, who was instrumental in the previous round. This time actually adjusts well enough to claim Redgar at least, but it's Chronicle and Shados. Huge power on this site take. Spike's on the way in the hands safely of Nats. And where is Izzy and Russ in this?
I know exactly where you are.
Seth's going to come out, give away this information. At least Shados will face Izzy once again. That's a scary prospect in itself. Him and Russ will pull back here. Hold on to the operator again. Getting into dangerous territory in terms of the round score now, and that economy becoming crucial. I think here, looking at the ultimates again, is he not... Still a spy cam in place over on A. You will see Gambit actually potentially coming to pile on the pressure here. Maybe look to punish this save, but I think Izzy and Russ going to be able to hold on, at least play distance enough here. But Gambit go to 11 to see what the purchase looks like here, because it's Neural Theft and the Cosmic Drive. Russ one away from the Seekers here, so an opportunity to maybe pile on the pressure if they can find a first blood here. It's going to be Gambit. Pump the brakes a little, call attack timeout. Again, I'm liking what I've seen from that previous round with that kind of coordinated hit towards A. A little better in terms of the adjustment, or the adaptation, I should say, in terms of who was carrying the spike, but
yes,
it just still feels shaky. Again, that round there, the B site hit, yes, clean, but it comes down to I gotta say it, just somebody being in a weird spot where they find 2 kills. I'm talking about Chronicle and then Shados with a great counter peak, right? It's not on the back of really coordinated utility investment. And the thing is, if on those rounds where Supermassive Blaze are able to just, you know, switch up and gamble one side or the other, I feel like Gambit are losing out on those sorts of rounds.
No, and I'm with you. Again, if we look at the way this has gone, those 3 rounds on the trot that SMB pulled off clearly left an impression, even though this is obviously the answer back. You look at repeatable success, and as you said, a couple of those positions working out very well, but maybe they want more.
Here.
I don't know.
This is a nice spot.
An easier answer to things. I don't know if they're going to find an easier answer necessarily, but maybe a more straightforward one, maybe a little bit more regimented in approach. But at this point,
That goes there.
Spike's all the way back. Let's see if it ever leaves there.
Like Gambit and making things easy for themselves. How many times do we see it come down to somebody bailing them out, or Nats finding 4 kills or something out of nowhere when he's the last man up? So that would be the biggest of adjustments, right? Gambit starting to make things easy for themselves. Because again, actually, if they start winning those sorts of rounds, Lauren, it's... Again, it becomes even more terrifying, right? As a concept for this team.
I'm with you. Now, they have lost mid-control here. You can see Pora now having to pay a great deal of attention towards vents because they noted that sky flash that came through, now going to draw them back. But it's Russ and SMB looking late round. It's Nats on the other side. He had the hand off the keyboard for a second there, but it's going to be right back on, and now timing is everything. The gun barrel shows, and he's got support. Nats and Redgar doing well to control the aggressive play out towards B. Well, actually, Nat's going to find one on Russ as well. Somehow, it's worked out so perfectly for Nats in this.
That poor
Player standing.
timing on that
Spike planted.
smoke dropping. And it's Izzy once again with the operator. All the way back in spawn. No real say in this round whatsoever. And a stark contrast, really. Again, I was talking about SMB being very fortunate in terms of where they were rotating Izzy towards on Ascent and finding value on those first bloods, those picks with the operator. This time, I feel as if, at least on defense here, that's not been a factor at all. Again, we could talk about the composition change and having a few more tools to deal with him, but Izzy's certainly not having as much success here, and it's really, really playing into Gambit's hands. Nat's going to be shut down as well. Again, I think the economy in terms of last few rounds, the way they've gone, won't be hurting at all. It's I was going to say a bigger loss if Izzy drops that weapon than any kills he finds on Gambit.
Yeah, really could have done with keeping control of that. Again, this is now map point. This is best of 5 though, so keep in mind this is going to be a marathon and not a sprint for these two teams. But a well-needed and resounding wake-up call for Gambit across the board. After map 1, I think most of us were a little worried or a little maybe taken aback by these results. Izzy still there, just he was hoping to keep that up on because I want to look at the money here. Able to get a rifle, but then look at the rest.
Pora struggling.
I think maybe talking through their economy. Yeah, Pora is not looking good with money. Couple of light armors coming out and Spectres. Brave can get a decent buy. Izzy as well, of course. And Turco, again, it's going to be kind of running the money a little thin. And you look on the other side, the damage that was done by that op is just nothing to really note at this point. I don't think they're ever going to take that money away.
Certainly not. Ultimates-wise, got to call the Viper's bit online. And again, the Cosmic Divide. So potentially we do see Gambit lean towards a bit more of a set piece here. We've seen them try and make use of that Cosmic Divide to zone their way into B at least. The Viper's bit is huge in terms of the post plant. The other side of the coin, not really the Seekers available, but similar in terms of the ultimates here. Nat's actually one off his neural theft as well, so almost mirror in terms of a couple of these ultimates.
We go again. Straight into this now. SMB going to be put to the test. This Gambit kind of finding a bit of themselves here, finding a bit of that magic that made them so good. That was just ripped away from them in map 1, but already defo. Looking for anyone willing to fight, and I think they've conceded this mid-battle, at least early round. May have a little look towards later, but Defo's taking so much space. There's 2 players on the other side. One dedicated towards the ramp and one toward vent. Russ will be the one who's going to be having to control this. Flash goes in. Doesn't find anyone quickly. No confirmation of presence, so this could almost encourage Defo to go for this, but the Seeker's following Hypoc.
You give away this information, at least of, well, I was going to say, somebody being here, because the majority of those stopped in their tracks. Supermassive Blaze not really benefiting anything on the back of that ultimate being invested. A 3-man stack.
You are divided.
There you go. There's the Cosmic Divide. It's going to be put up, and like I said, zoning their way into B is the plan.
Let's see what SMB do with this. They have some tough choices to make. Flash comes in as well, going to make this trickier. Doesn't catch anyone, but Defo's going to move further forward. He'll try and make his presence noted, but he actually loses his life. Brave's done well there, so has Turco.
Oh
They've actually been able to just isolate, divide into pieces, make it more manageable, if anything.
Again, almost using the Cosmic Divide to their advantage. Playing either side and completely dismantling that split. Again, it gives them a barrier. There's almost this safety net to split these angles, either side of it. And I mean, we talked about the economy looking flat for the previous. Defo's on a Spectre here. Redgar too.
Okay, it's 11 to 12. I really thought that was going to be the one. I thought that was going to be across the line for Gambit, and away we go into the third, looking towards Bind, but no. SMB refusing to let this one slip, even though they've been maybe a little quieter than their more dominant maps. Defo has found great deals of room here through middle with Shados by his side. The flashes have been great in combination with a bit of that Astra utility coming in too. But SMB show presence early and then fall back a little.
Here, come back to the ultimate discussion.
Hawk out.
Showstopper, Neural Theft, and Cosmic Divide available here for SMB. And again, those 2 enablers we saw in the previous invested by Gambit. Do have the Seekers, though. Potential here to... You send out a fact finder, discover this 3-man stack towards B once again on the side of Supermassive Blaze. We'll have to wait and see.
I've got your trail.
Here we go. Actually, with 3 of them heading towards B, yeah.
Good flash. Russ needs to buy time, and he's doing just that. Oh, he's been taken down by Nats. How has he managed this poor and needs to find the timing? Now he can't. Gambit have just found the perfect timing to strike, just somehow evading Pora and Russ's potential. Turco now being denied this presence to be able to catch that cross, and they're down to 2. Brave and Izzy, the last standing. SMB, oh, Nats just keeps punching them down. There's now Brave left in a 1v5. Gambit picking things up off the floor, off the pieces that remain. Defo to shut it down, and what a game from him. Truly a difference maker with Shados, I feel, especially here.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked about him being the one to lead the charge for Gambit in some of these attacking rounds where we've seen them struggle previously, at least, but a great response, but it effectively went the distance in regulation, Lauren. So
Yeah.
take away what you want from that. It's great to see them answer back, but I'm still feeling that Supermassive Blaze are playing scarily well. Even in these rounds, that last round there comes down. Like I even said, the Seekers invested is the one defining moment of that round. That's the green light for Gambit to move quickly and decisively, which is something we don't see them do very often on the attack. If they can replicate that, if they can do that more often, find other ways to get a feel for Supermassive Blaze setup, then yes, potentially going forwards in the rest of this series, we might see them have a bit more success on attack.
Yeah, I'm loving this whole switch up. Be it the composition that came in, the Sky, the Astro, whatever it kind of was that facilitated Defo, I love that look coming out from them. However, we have a lot of maps in front of us now. This is kind of opening things up. Best of 5 is looking like it's going to go the distance, so we're going to go to a break, and when we're back, the desk will be talking through what's coming up and what we just saw.